Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Well, they love their football in the Steel City, and they love this weather. Sunshine, temperatures in the 70s here on October 10th. Set for Week 5 with the Steelers hosting the Broncos. Vic Fangio, Mike Tomlin, the AFC West, very talented. The AFC North, very talented in Pittsburgh. Feels like they can't lose any more ground at 1-3 with Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Cleveland all at 3-1. Denver won the toss. They deferred, so Pittsburgh receives it, and off we go. Ray McLeod with a running start. And Ray McLeod with a solid return and a flag here after McLeod is tripped up. Our referee, Brad Rogers.
During the return, holding. Return team number 24. 10-yard penalty, first down.
All right, let's go down and welcome in Sarah Kustok.
Well, BG, coming into this week, there were some question marks about both quarterbacks. Teddy Bridgewater in concussion protocol didn't get in his first full practice until Friday, but he told us he feels great. He looked it on the field during pregame warm-ups. Different story for Ben Roethlisberger, who said he feels beat up dealing with a hip injury this week, and you can see the extra padding in his uniform for protection. We'll see how he continues to manage that pain here early on the sideline and in this first drive.
Yeah, it's on that right hip. On the first play, he defers to Najee Harris, the rookie out of Alabama, for a gain of 6. But Ben Roethlisberger not only dealing with that hip, a pec injury from a few weeks ago as well. He did hit the 400 touchdown pass mark, the 8th to do it last week in the loss at Green Bay, and also moved into 6 all-time in the passing yardage category as he went by Dan Marino. So after the 6-yard carry by Harris, they'll give him another toe. Breaks one tackle and able to slip through. And it brings up a 3rd and short after a 3-yard gain. This Steelers offense just 6 touchdowns in 4 games.
Yeah, you know, when the offensive line has taken the brunt of some of the criticism right now, but listen, put an offensive line in a position to fail. Don't be surprised when they fail. They have to be more balanced. You see them starting with 2 runs right off the bat.
And 2 runs, and as you mentioned, Stink, that offensive line, a lot of young guys, a couple of rookies, a second-year player as well. They've had some injuries to deal with. 3rd and 1 here, and Ben in the gun. Time in the pocket, and able to complete it. There's Chase Claypool tight roping, but he cannot stay in bounds as the 6'4" receiver out of Notre Dame picks up the first down.
So big and so physical. Watch him up top here because he's going to use a little push off right here at the top of the route. Gain separation, the undercut by Fuller, but Chase Claypool putting a big first down on the board and a possession down at 3rd down and 1.
23-yard gain. Chase Claypool missed last week after a hamstring injury that he had in practice. Big Ben very happy to have number 11 back.
Blue 20! Blue 20!
So after the 23-yard pass, they hand it off to Juju Smith-Schuster. Smith-Schuster stays in for a couple extra on his 2nd run of the season. He's going to look at this Denver defense, 2nd in the NFL in points allowed behind Buffalo.
Yeah, everybody knows the name Von Miller, some of the other guys, but Draymond Jones is the guy that just explodes on film. First guy off the ball in the backfield, disrupting runs. He's a guy that maybe doesn't put up a lot of statistics, but really makes a difference up front.
3rd-year player out of Ohio State, Draymond Jones. 12.3 points a game given up for the 3-1 Broncos. They got off to the 3-0 start. The loss last week at home to Baltimore, 23-7. 2nd and 8, Roethlisberger right through the hands of Benny Snell. And he is the change of pace guy for Najee Harris, obviously one that he should have caught. 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and this is one, you know, this is what derails you as an offense. When you're struggling, and you have a perfect throw, a perfect opportunity to at least get yourself in a third and manageable, right? And now you're in a 3rd and 7+, and in this league, 3rd and 7+ is a really difficult down to convert on. So you had a chance, and those are the things that derail bad football teams or teams that are struggling on the offensive side.
And Snell hasn't seen a ton of time. That was just his 16th offensive snap this year. Now Roethlisberger's going to air it out, and it's caught in stride. Deontay Johnson, a 50-yard touchdown strike.
Well, you get the coverage you want. You get quarters coverage, and what that means is that safety right there is going to play that inside seam route. That's Chase Claypool, number 11, puts you one-on-one on the outside with Deontay Johnson, and Deontay Johnson can flat fly. You see it there, running right by the cornerback Fuller, and oh, there it is, Ben Roethlisberger. I guess the reports of his demise, the obituaries that have been written, maybe they're a little premature.
Touchdown pass number 401 for Big Ben, and for Deontay Johnson, he had an opening drive touchdown last week in Green Bay. He does it again here in Week 5. Ben Roethlisberger looked pretty good. That hip looked okay on this throw.
Yeah, no question about it. Stays closed, throwing motion great. First and foremost, it always starts with protection. Offensive line holds up. Touchdown. I'll tell you what, Hash Brown, send that one to the internet.
Well, they had only had one opening drive touchdown in their previous 37 games before last week. They got an opening drive touchdown in Green Bay, and now again here, both of them by Deontay Johnson. So a good start for Pittsburgh, and now how will Denver respond? Teddy Bridgewater, who had the concussion in the first half last week against Baltimore, was limited in practice this week, cleared concussion protocol, got in practice on Friday, and is ready to go. And you see the numbers, still no interceptions, and a 72% completion percentage so far.
He really has been efficient, done a great job of distributing the ball to multiple receivers. Going to have to do it again today because they've got some receivers that are out and injured.
Jerry Jeudy out. Of course, KJ Hamler gone for the season with a torn ACL. And watch the play clock. The crowd, early disruption.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They can do that here in Pittsburgh.
Crowd noise. Obviously, these guys are excited. This fan base is excited to see the Steelers play well to go up 7-0. But those walk-up linebackers walking into gaps, pick stunts, that's something that Pittsburgh is going to try to exploit because Denver had a tough time picking it up last week against Baltimore.
Starting on the ground, not much there. Maybe a yard for Melvin Gordon, the 7th-year veteran. And this offense for Denver, season low last week, stinked just 7 points.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about the receiving corps. Tim Patrick is one of the guys here for the Broncos. One of those guys that's just a really good football player, has been so productive for them over the last couple of years. Got to keep your eye on.
In addition, just 7 points last week. A season low 254 yards against the Baltimore Ravens. Another tote here for Gordon. Able to slip up inside and make it 3rd and manageable with a pickup of 5. And so we get a look at this Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah, and everybody will talk about T.J. Watt and the dynamic player that he is. But the guy I've been watching a lot on film, Alex Highsmith, he really makes plays on the edge. Really nice compliment to number 90 on the opposite side of him.
For Pittsburgh, no Cameron Sutton today at cornerback. Injured his groin against Green Bay in the second half last week. He's out. Denver 30th in the league in 3rd downs, and they go to Patrick, but he's going to be short. Look at that defense, gang tackling, led by Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Well, there you have it. You know, you're bringing multiple linebackers in, you're bringing blitz in. That one thing you can tell when a team brings up players, they bring in multiple pass rushers, how they feel about you as an offense. They feel like, hey man, we're going to make you get the ball out of your hand. You can't block us. We're going to be aggressive on the defensive side. That's the first indicator of what the Pittsburgh Steelers think about the Denver Broncos on third downs.
And just 31% conversion rate so far for Denver. Fair catch at the 16 for Ray McCloud. Ben Roethlisberger, drive number 2 when we get back.
I don't want to dwell too much on the ailments, things that are happening, because it sounds like an excuse. I need to be better. I need to fight through and figure out how to make better decisions, how to make better throws, be a better football player. I'm not giving up on this season. No one in this building is. Still early, and there's still a lot of fight left in us.
Well, it looked like there was a lot of fight on that touchdown pass to Deontay Johnson. That was Ben talking to the local media on Wednesday of this week. Now, they've been pass heavy, as we talked about, but 4 runs so far. And you know what Ben Roethlisberger told us, too, with that hip stink was he said a lot of people think when you throw the ball, it's all arm. He said a lot of that is in your lower body.
Yeah, it's ground force production. How do you create rotational force when you're throwing the football? You can see the hip pad right there. And, you know, he's trying to protect that. But he really talked about mechanics, shortening his stride, making sure he keeps the front shoulder closed so that he throws the ball with more velocity and more accuracy. And you saw the accurate throw down the sideline to Johnson.
Well, that 50-yard pass, by the way, longest play the Denver defense has given up this year. But sticking with a ground game here, and certainly a very talented young back that they have in Najee Harris.
Yeah, and it's important. When you run the football, especially in these possession downs now, you're a third down and short. As a defense, what do you have to do? You've got to play both the run and the pass. And so now if we're throwing the ball as an offensive lineman, as a young offensive lineman, I can say, hey, wait a minute, let me up-kick this, sell the run even though we're throwing it, and now I've eliminated you as a pass rusher. And that's what Matt Canada, offensive coordinator, really needs to understand with this offense as they're trying to figure out what they are.
Najee Harris, the number 24 pick in this last draft. And there's another third down completion as he gets it to Freiermuth. They're not booing, they're saying Booth. Pat Freiermuth, the tight end, hauls it in. And there is an injured Bronco back around the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think one of the things you're looking at right there, we just talked about it, right? I mean, shorten up your stride. Make sure you keep that shoulder closed, that front shoulder. Use a little bit more velocity from your lower body, and we saw it perfectly right there as Ben Roethlisberger completes it to Freiermuth with, some mustard on that ball, right?
The injured party is Shelby Harris. We'll take a break.
Today's game is sponsored by Burger King. Mix and match your faves for just $6. And by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. Switch to Geico for more ways to save.
Week 5 in Pittsburgh. The Steelers, great start, 7-0. Another third down conversion. Shelby Harris just went off for Denver, replaced by Shamar Stephen. Roethlisberger pumps, that pass deflected and almost intercepted. Mike Purcell went down to the ground to get it, couldn't reel it in.
Mike Purcell, I mean, you want to talk about a great reaction. Here he is on the nose. Watch him hit this ball up in the air, playing volleyball to himself, right? He's the blocker. Now go get the set, go get the set. Oh, he doesn't quite get it, but what an effort to track that ball in the air and almost come up with the interception. Great play right there by 14, Ray McDonald. Look at him. I mean, now all of a sudden Ray McCloud, he becomes the defensive back on that particular situation.
And another injured Bronco, and it is Purcell, who took that hit you mentioned from Ray McCloud, a little slow to get up. Purcell, third year in Denver, a guy who's been cut 10 times in his NFL career, but has battled and he's helped to his feet.
And he has really developed into a stout run defender, playing great on the defensive line. And You talk about perseverance. You know, that's one thing I love about this game. It's just that guys get told so many times, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, we're going to cut you, we're going to get rid of you, you just can't make this team. You stick with it. There you see him right now starting nose guard on a defense that's a top 5 defense in the league.
So Purcell goes off. Shelby Harris got poked in the eye. We're told he should be okay.
45.
A couple of injury dings for the Denver Broncos. 2nd and 10. Roethlisberger hands it back off to Najee Harris. And another good gain for Harris. Mike Tomlin really praised this young back and saying that he, for a rookie, he seems wise beyond his years as he picks things up in this league.
Yeah, and one of the things that's important for a young running back is to really start to understand, you know, the benefit of a 4 or 5 yard run. Right now, 2nd down and long. Now it's 3rd down and short. That ability to say, hey, know when the play's over, get me 4 or 5. As Mike Tomlin said, not every meal's a banquet. Sometimes it's just a snack. Understand that when you're running the football.
Yeah, he said a snack's okay sometimes.
Yeah.
And Najee Harris has proved that here early. 5 carries, 24 yards. Roethlisberger, good pass down where only Eric Ebron, his tight end, can get it. And another conversion for Pittsburgh.
Man-to-man on top of the route right there, and Ebron's going to get a little push-off. Here you see him. Watch the push-off, create the space right there inside 5 yards. You are actually playing defense, right? You're the one using your hands. You're the one creating that separation on Patrick Surtain.
So Freiermuth a catch. Now the other tight end, Eric Ebron, with his first reception.
Now we get into 2 tight end formations, right? Heavy, west, right. We're going to run this ball.
And they do, right between the tackles, and there's some of those hard yards up the middle for Najee Harris. We got a game break. Let's go to Carissa Thompson.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Bucks trailing 3-0 against the Dolphins, 3rd and 6. Tom Brady finds Giovanni Bernard for this 10-yard score. Bucks up 7-3. Brandon, Mark, and Sarah.
All right, Carissa.
So, Brandon, one of the things that's going on right now with the Broncos on defense is they'd love to play a too-high safety look. They love to be in quarters-type coverage. You're going to have to start rolling guys down earlier. If you're going to get 5, 6, 7 yards a carry, those 2 safeties are going to have to start committing to getting down in the box. Here you see Justin Simmons getting down there now.
High snap, but Ben does give it to Harris, and Harris, another good run. This time 5 yards, a 1st down. That was already the 8th play of the drive.
Big Ben going up. I mean, look at this, like a big rebound here. Big Ben goes up, both hands on it, and then has the presence of mind to create that big, put it in the breadbasket right in the belly of the receiver. And that's what you have to do for the running back, right? Make sure you secure it, give him that soft handoff so he can convert that 1st down.
Harris, 7 carries, no catches, although he does have 26 receptions to lead all running backs so far this year in the National Football League. And whistles and a flag here. We're going to have a false start.
False start. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's on Okorafor, the right tackle. This offense headed up by Matt Canada. Last year, he was the quarterback coach coming over from the college game. This is his 1st year stint calling plays at the NFL level.
Right, he needs to run the ball better. You see this in the first 2 drives right now. If he keeps doing this, I'm going to change his name from Matt Canada to Matt America for crying out loud, because you got to know how to run the ball.
Well, it's been a great start running the football for Harris, but now Kalen Ballage comes in. Ballage does not have a touch this year. By the way, Purcell back in for that Denver defense. Here is Ballage's first carry of 2021. And he's stacked up.
How about that? I mean, you talk about open space. These 2 different athletes, because you'll see 98 right here in the middle. Oh, knock it out. Okay, I got him lined up. And Ballage just go, oh, you think you got me, right? You think you got me. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Well, Purcell at 328. He's not as shifty as Ballage.
Apparently not.
Hey, 45! Blue 20!
And the penalty, the 2-yard gain, 2nd and 13. Pressure off the edge. Roethlisberger, the ball's loose. On the ground, it's picked up by Denver. Alexander Johnson returns it inside the 30. Malik Reed got the pressure, and Johnson scooped it.
Well, it's man-to-man coverage right here, and you know what? This is one of those things that I look at like a coverage sack. You've got guys locked up right here. You're trying to run some mesh concepts. Nothing's open for Ben Roethlisberger as he escapes. Here is Reed coming all the way around. He's blocked perfectly. He forced him up the field. You've taken him out of the picture, and yet he stays on it, and Ben Roethlisberger grabbing those ribs. It looks like he's a little bit shaken up.
Already dealing with the pec injury, the hip injury, and now Denver in plus territory, trying to break it to the outside. Javonte Williams, that's another talented rookie runner, and he carries it to the outside, second down.
You know, I mentioned how you feel about an offense, the way you play on the defensive side. Do I pressure the quarterback? Do I play coverage? It tells you a lot about what's going on. You know what tells me a lot about this talented rookie running back in Javonte Williams is how much they trust him in critical situations. Down as they're approaching the red zone, in third downs. This is a guy that they believe in. This is a guy they trust, and he is paying dividends for this Broncos offense.
He was the third running back taken this year. Harris for Pittsburgh was the first, and how about that play? Who else but T.J. Watt, the highest paid defender in the National Football League.
Well, this is one issue that the Pittsburgh Steelers have, is Watt is going to create, pressure in the backfield, and that's Noah Fant, a guy that's an incredibly skilled or talented tight end from a running standpoint, but has never really progressed the way he needs to when it comes to blocking. You see the whiff right there on Watt for the tackle in the backfield, putting it third down and long.
Bridgewater needs 12 yards, dumps it underneath. Williams not going to get there. He'll be short. That brings up fourth down, and on comes the field goal unit.
Well, I'm wondering because, Vic Fangio, I think the Broncos are like 5 for 5 on fourth down right now. And, yep, here comes Brandon McManus trotting on. But on the road, you want to put points on the board, right? You want to close this gap down a little bit, settle down your defense, give them an opportunity to, sit on the sideline, get your points, and close this gap a little bit against the Steelers.
You are correct, though. They're a perfect 5 of 5 on fourth down conversions, but they will try the 39-yarder with McManus. And the man who has been the starter since 2015 knocks it through the post. What set it all up was the fumble. Roethlisberger had it yard free. Johnson scooped it, and the Broncos are on the board. Well, some consternation in Steelers Nation after the 3-game losing streak, but decent start here, 7-3, and set to get the ball back after the McManus field goal.
Hey, I'm not sure what that means, but
oh, come on! You're a Rhodes Scholar.
No, listen, man. I was the valedictorian of summer school, so.
Well, that's better than being number 2 in summer school, Sting. Come on.
Amen.
Moral victories are victories. McManus boots it. Ray McLeod goes down to a knee. Ben Roethlisberger got hit. He fumbled. Mentioned all the injuries he's been dealing with. They asked him this week, they said, is the hip sore? He said, everything's sore. He said, I'm 39, everything hurts. But here was how he was grimacing after that last play.
Right, everything hurts. I mean, it's the hand, it's the shoulder, it's the ribs, it's the pec, the hip. And when you're 39 years old, that's what ends up happening to you, right? You played this game as long and as tough as he has. And remember, when he was young, he took a beating, man. He stood back there in the pocket, faced the danger, nose sideways, everything else. And they just kept hitting him, and he just kept not caring. And, that takes its toll on you as a player.
236 career start today. Play action. Dumps it off for Gentry. Zach Gentry first down before he's upended. So all 3 tight ends now have gotten involved in the pass game. Gain of 13.
This is such a nice design. You're going to let the guys get through. You fake the run, and right there you feel like you've got it. And now just flip it over to Gentry. You get the offensive line up the field right now. Give them opportunities to be successful. Take some of that pressure off those young guys. Give them those screens. Give them those swing passes. This is really smart play calling.
Roethlisberger, 5 of 7, 95 yards. Handing it off. Harris cutting back inside and into the arms of Alexander Johnson. Inside of a minute left in the opening quarter.
And this is what I've talked about, right? Understand the value of a 3-yard run, because what it does to a defense, you can see Alexander Johnson making that tackle, but it makes you play defense. It makes you defend blocks. It makes you have to get up off the ground, and now you're in pass coverage. The value of it is so incredible for an offense.
This time, Harris splits out. Then on 2nd and 6, and there is the first catch for Harris, his 27th of the season. A couple of weeks ago, Stinky had 14 receptions against Cincinnati.
And it's amazing how good can you be without the ball in your hand. Now you're going to see him outside the formation as they start to go to no huddle here, but they're just running an easy slant drag combination, a first day combination, but he runs it as though he's a wide receiver, right? So you have that duality of not only being a running back, but can run all those routes.
And that will wind us down to the end of the opening frame. Pittsburgh with the opening drive score, and they're up 7-3. Great crowd, beautiful day here on October 10th in Pittsburgh. Temperatures in the 70s as we begin the second quarter. This will be the 20th play for the Steelers. Denver has only run 6 plays on offense. Handing it off, here's Harris. Patient, finds a hole and gets across the 50, a pickup of 5 yards. Mentioned the plays run in the first quarter here. The total, I mean, look at the time of possession. Pittsburgh had it for almost 11 minutes.
44 yards rushing. That is an important statistic for this Steelers team. You see the commitment they're making right now, taking some pressure off those young guys up front, and more importantly, taking some pressure off of Roethlisberger.
Well, they came in averaging 55 a game, last in the NFL by a wide margin. Also last in the league a year ago. And this will help that number. Najee Harris lowering the shoulder down inside the 30. A pickup of 21 for number 22.
I mean, this is what happens. Here it is right here. Check it out. You're coming right off the tackle's block. You don't even pick up the linebacker, but different levels of defenders, one guy upfield, one guy getting blocked at the line of scrimmage, creates almost a picket fence, right? A swinging gate to open up for Najee Harris. He takes advantage of it for a big run.
Pittsburgh total coming into today, 221 rushing yards. 21 players had more than that in the NFL, but it's been a different story so far. Now here's Balaj, and they go backward. Von Miller, who else? So good defending that run.
He really is. He's a guy, you know, and this is going to sound interesting. Here he is up top here, but he's a guy that I don't want to run at. Look at his strength at the point of attack, getting underneath the offensive line, setting up that's the tight end, but getting underneath them, setting them up, and then being able to fall off that. He is so awkward. And I mean that as a compliment. He's so unorthodox. That was perfect. Picture perfect from the standpoint of defending the run, but all the next thing you know, he'll just dip underneath you and be in the backfield. He's so tough.
That sets up a 2nd and 13, and the pass in front of Balaj.
And let me finish up that thought process on Vaughn. Like those guys that are unorthodox like that can bend, that can dip, that can, you know, take you on with strength, but also run around you. I would just as soon run away from those guys, right? Like he's not going to defend the block in an orthodox style. So it makes it really hard to block the guy. So I would rather cut him off, run to the opposite side, than running at Von Miller, and that was his 8th time this season so far he has a tackle for loss. So it's backed up by statistics.
Like when you asked Ben Roethlisberger, hey, so what scares you about Denver? He said, well, besides Von Miller?
Yes.
Roethlisberger here, and that pass nowhere near Juju Smith-Schuster. No flag. Coverage by Pat Surtain. Surtain was questionable with a rib injury, but obviously good to go.
Smith-Schuster on the outside right here. He's just going to curl up underneath, and that's just an off-target ball right there. And that's what Ben Roethlisberger talked about. He said, sometimes I don't keep my front hip open, or I don't stride torn by target. I open it up too far, and it creates an errant throw. And there you saw it right there, because that's one that Ben would like to have back.
Pittsburgh was 4 of 4 on third down conversions. Now 4 of 5, 48-yarder, no problem for Chris Boswell. That gets it back to a skep. That Denver O-line raring and ready to go. They've only been on the field for 6 plays so far with 12:42 left in the first half.
So you're telling me they're fresh?
They are very fresh. That O-line, remember those 2 guards missed last week with injury, but both back. As Boswell booms it away. From the goal line, Deontay Spencer. Let's go back to L.A. Here's Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Brandon. Panthers-Eagles tied at 3. Panthers looking to bounce back after last week's loss. This helps Sam Darnold finds rookie tight end Tommy Tremble for this 5-yard score. Great name. 2nd career touchdown. Panthers up 10-3. Brandon, also a great name.
Yeah, I like that. Well, thanks. Tommy will make you tremble sometimes. Brandon Gaunt, Mark Schlereth, Sarah Kustok, Dean Blandino, our rules analyst back in L.A. So Teddy Bridgewater, the concussion in the first half last week. Slow start here, hasn't had the ball much. He hands it off. And a solid first down gain of 7 yards. Got Gordon, you've got Javonte Williams, and both of them pretty even in carries on the season.
Yeah, I think when you look at Gordon, he's a guy that when he has space, he can create and be almost a dude that makes you miss, you know, in that kind of space scenario. And then Williams is more of a hammerhead. Like, he's going to hunt up contact and try to run you over. So that's kind of the difference between the 2 backs. One really good in open space, one better in tight spaces.
Vic Fangio said, look, teams have loaded up to stop our run. We know we could see that again today as that pass tipped. It was in the direction of Cortland Sutton, but fell at his feet. 3rd down and 3. I think that was Hayward that got a hand on it, Stink.
Yeah, Hayward not getting up on the line of scrimmage, not getting any penetration. So just make sure you read. And sometimes you're not getting penetration because you read the drop of the quarterback. Hayward is just one of those intelligent guys. He's been around so long. He feels that quick pass coming. He feels that short drop by the quarterback. So he stopped his rush, just got his hands up there and got the tip. Now it's 3rd down and short.
Denver 0 for 2 on 3rd downs. 0 for 3. Like Sutton almost surprised by that as Bridgewater threw that sidearm. And 4th down, they will punt it.
And it's almost as though Cortland Sutton didn't even see it. Teddy Bridgewater finding a spot, finding a window to throw it through underneath the arms of Hayward, and Cortland Sutton just flat not ready for the ball. I mean, he's looking at the ball. You got to come down with that. 3rd down and 3 or 3rd down and 2. You know, you've only run 6 offensive plays. Now what, 9 offensive plays? That's something you've got to come down with.
And the struggle on 3rd down continue for the Denver Broncos. Again, they came in 30th in the league, and they're 0 for 3 so far in that department. Flag comes in as McLeod trying to get away, but he cannot.
This is an athletic move right here. I think that's Mike Ford.
Yeah.
I mean, somersaulting, getting shoved in the back, doing a somersault, getting back to your feet, and making a tackle. Dude, that's right out of the circus. I mean, forget about football. And check it out right now. Here he is.
Illegal block in the back. Number 31 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
Yeah, Justin Lane with the penalty, but Mike Ford, you're right.
I love football, right? You always see something you've never seen before. Mike Ford, get it done.
Well, the Steelers 1-3, but if you think all the way back to last year, remember they started 11-0. They were at the top of the heap, and then things went south a little bit. They lost 4 of their next 5. Ultimately, they would get in the playoffs, but fall in the first round. So if you count that playoff game, they're actually 2-8 in their last 10, and off to this 1-3 start. But Mike Tomlin, he's been in this situation before. They've had slow starts in September and then picked it up later.
And Mike Tomlin does not flinch. I mean, you want to talk about confidence. You want to talk about a leader of men. You're talking about Mike Tomlin.
Never had a losing season in his 15th year. Short run here to start the drive. Second longest tenured head coach. They, of course, had Chuck Noll and Bill Cowher, but the last losing season was 2003, and Tomlin's taken him to the playoff stink 9 of his 14 first years.
It's amazing, 14 years, and the message doesn't grow old. Tomlin is so pointed with what he talks to his team about, the way he motivates and leads his team. I tell you what, if he wasn't operating, if he wasn't the head coach of the Steelers, he'd be running a corporation. I mean, he is that dynamic.
Boy, he's impressive to meet with, that's for sure. Second and 7. Najee Harris again. And Najee Harris, now he's up over 70 yards. And again, this is a Pittsburgh offense that has only averaged 55 yards per game on the ground.
I love the change in philosophical approach or mindset. 2nd and 7 over the course of the first 4 games. That's an automatic throw. We got to throw the football. 2nd and 7, let's get our second down and long yardage run game going. Because one of the things you're thinking about as a defense, you're thinking we got to defend the pass. So you're not as ready to trigger on a 2nd down and 7+ run, right? And now you're put yourself in a manageable possession down here in 3rd down and short.
4 or 5 on 3rd down conversions, Pittsburgh. And they want more than just a couple up top. Incomplete. Chase Claypool, the target. Again, there's Pat Surtain on the coverage, the rookie.
I love Pat Surtain on this right here. Watch him stay in contact right here. In phase, they call this. Hand on, push toward the sideline. And that's one of those that, you know, people will say, well, that's PI. I disagree. I think you're in contact. You're not really changing the momentum of the receiver, but you're staying in contact. And that receiver's got to think, now not only catch the ball, but can I stay in bounds because you keep pushing him toward the sideline. Really nice play by Surtain.
Surtain, the number 9 pick in this last draft out of Alabama. Deontay Spencer steps out around the 40. A little over 10 minutes left in the opening half. 10-3 Steelers. The confluence of the 3 rivers in downtown Pittsburgh. I think if you broadcast a game in Pittsburgh, you have to say the word confluence and the rivers.
Yes.
That's just obligatory.
Agreed.
Ball control, Denver. Look, they're only down 3 despite seven, despite these numbers.
Well, you've got the confluence of the rivers, and you got the confusion of Denver's offense right now. And listen, a guy that I'd like to see them get involved, 81, Tim Patrick. He's just a really good football player. I know he's listed as the 3rd or 4th receiver on this roster, but he's a guy that's a playmaker, and they need to get him involved in the offense.
Emotions in tight, and they hand it off. They've got those 2 backs we talked about, Williams and Gordon, but nothing there as we go back to L.A. Here's Carissa again.
Thank you so much. Dolphins-Bucks tied at 10. Tom Brady to a familiar target for that Pittsburgh audience. Antonio Brown does the rest. 62-yard score. Brown's first touchdown for the Bucks since week 1. Bucks back in front, 17-10.
Thank you, Chrissy. Yeah, people around here remember that name, Antonio Brown. But, you know, getting to Denver's wide receiver issues, remember, no Jerry Jeudy, still out with a high ankle sprain. We mentioned K.J. Hamler, and their tight end, Albert Okuebanam, is on the IR, hamstring injury yesterday in practice, or Friday rather. On 2nd and 10, Bridgewater. Nice pass there. It's Cortland Sutton. You mentioned Tim Patrick, of course, Cortland Sutton. Another good one out wide for Denver.
Well, that's good. I mean, you look at this right now. If you can sustain a drive, eat some clock up, right? Create some first downs, you know, convert here in a 3rd down and 1 situation. You've been completely dominated this whole first half, and you're still 1 score away from tying this thing up.
They just need a yard. They pitch it out. Javonte Williams. Williams slips through. He's got a ton of speed. And he's caught down inside the 5 by James Pierre. An eyelash away from a house call, a gain of 49.
And Noah Fant sets it up on the edge. Watch him flash here, bam, and then get out to the outside on Edmonds right there. And oh my goodness gracious. I mean, that's the way you get that done. Terrell Edmonds, he's the guy that you set up, and then bam, you got Williams doing the rest of it.
He's so tough to tackle. How impressive was that 31-yard run he had last week where he carried Marlon Humphrey for 20 yards of it. By the way, we have flags here as they line up for this 1st and goal play.
I mean, I'm disappointed that he couldn't carry Pierre a little bit longer than that. He only had him about 3 yards. He took Humphreys for about 14.
Spiking the ball in the end zone. Offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Result of the play is a 1st down.
Wow, so they're going to get the young 21-year-old rookie there for the celebration.
Not the end zone.
Now, had he scored, he could have spiked it, but since he did not, you cannot spike the football.
Yeah, and clearly, I mean, he's excited, right?
That was like a Gronk spike.
Right, it was.
That was his long run of the season. Still set up nicely here on 1st and goal. They give it to him again. Gets some of that penalty yardage back to the 5. Cameron Hayward and others there on the stop.
Stay with it, too. And I appreciate that about a coordinator. Now, you're probably going to get into some play action here. See if you can get your one-on-ones on the outside. As you know, they're probably going to double team the inside receivers, and Noah Fant will get a double team, maybe a Tim Patrick. Can you get a one-on-one on the outside here in this run formation?
Bridgewater pressured. Bridgewater all the way back at the 20. Devin Bush gets him.
Well, confusion in protection between your back and your tackle right here, and that's what creates it. Both go out to T.J. Watt, leaving Devin Bush unblocked right there, and if you're going to get an unblocked guy, you better get the sack. Devin Bush putting Bridgewater down for a big loss.
Pittsburgh defense had only had 8 sacks coming in, and 5 of those were by T.J. Watt.
Crowd noise, protection. Back thinks he's got the inside. He thinks he's got the outside. Boom.
And they're going to have to take the timeout. That play clock was dwindling.
Timeout.
And we'll take the timeout with them. And after that 12-yard loss, they are backed up at the 17-yard line here on 3rd and goal. Empty set for Bridgewater. A screen out to Williams, and Williams can only get to the 11. Minka Fitzpatrick there on the tackle, 4th down, and Denver will have to settle for a field goal.
Well, you wanted to get an indicator, so you put Williams out there. You're getting the zone indicator, running the screen. Nice block by Dalton Reisner, getting out there on Edmonds. But overall, really nice defense by the Steelers. Getting that red zone, shutting people down, making big plays.
Well, for Denver, at least they sustained a drive there. They had not been able to do that to this point, but it ends in 3 on the 29-yard boot by Brandon McManus. The big play defensively about Devin Bush. Pittsburgh only 8 sacks coming in. Bush says, I'll change that number. Denver Broncos, some fans have made the trek out east. 2 field goals trailing the Steelers 10-6. Certainly one of the best home fields in all of the National Football League. And so far, even though they're dominating time of possession, dominating plays in a lot of categories, only up here by 4 points, they do get the football back. McLeod back deep. The offense coming back out. Sarah, what have you observed down there by Ben Roethlisberger?
Oh, BG, we've been talking about the injuries with Ben, but he's been focused on the film. It's been all about coming to the bench, looking at some video, and then having an extreme amount of communication with his receivers, in particular Juju Smith-Schuster, and of course Chase Claypool, who came back from that hamstring injury. But he's been talking to Coach Tomlin, and a little bit grabbing at that hip. We've seen some laboring with his walk, but otherwise it's just been all about taking that rest and looking at that film.
Hey, he just looks so calm out there, but that's his nature. Man. Again, 236 career start.
Hey,
Smith-Schuster in motion, and they give it to him. Another run, his second of the game, but he's upended. Good hard tackle there by Kareem Jackson. You talked about how violent he can be. There's an example.
Well, Kareem Jackson, I mean, you're going to see him right here, but watch him trigger. He reads it. Look at him go. Look at the route he takes. Undercuts the legs. Now, you've got to remember, this is a guy that started off in this league as a cornerback, right? And now he's playing safety at, what, 183 pounds, and he is one of the most physical. He's one of the most physical defensive backs in all of football, and you can see.
He's clearly in some pain, Smith-Schuster, after that hit. He's going to walk off, but it was Kareem Jackson. Watch his arm here.
Oh.
All the force on that right arm shoulder area.
Oh, my goodness. And I'll tell you what, like I said, Kareem undercutting his leg, right, as you mentioned, on that arm, and he is in all kinds of pain.
Yeah, they're already without James Washington, one of their receivers, had a groin injury in practice. And now Smith-Schuster to the sideline. Kareem Jackson, oldest on the roster at 33 years of age. Pretty young Denver team. Smith-Schuster did get 3. Second down at 7. Four-man rush. Roethlisberger, pitch and catch. Chase Claypool. Claypool across the 50. Claypool stays in bounds. And all the way down into the red zone before Miller shoves him out.
Well, sometimes it's just about picking your best matchup. Here he is in the slot. Who's that? Von Miller right there on the coverage. That is a mismatch. He should be rushing the passer, not covering the 6'4", 238-pound receiver. And then look at the stiff arm down the sideline. Right here, in your face.
Yeah, and Ben loves him. He told us sky is the limit. He said, I'm not sure this guy knows how good he could be. That one went for 59 yards. And now they turn to Najee Harris. But Harris has nowhere to turn. As a gang of Broncos get him to the ground. Jonathan Cooper, Justin Sternad there.
It's really about the first well-defended run I can remember in this half by this Broncos defense, which, you know, ultimately, if you want to rush the passer, you want to put stress on the quarterback, you've got to be able to stop the run so that you have those opportunities. They truly haven't had opportunities to rush the passer. Only 12 passes, I believe, so far in this first half.
And you compare that to 17 runs for the Steelers. Again, they came in 73% pass, highest in the league. And some movement as the flags fly. Look like on the right side of that line.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the right tackle, Okorafor. Matt Canada told us, look, we need more out of him.
Yeah, and you know what, you see the jump. I mean, as an offensive lineman, you're always trying to get the jump against pass rush. You're trying to be the first guy off the ball because it gives you the best advantage just a little bit early there, a hair early.
The plan was to have a core of 4 at left tackle, but Zach Banner is still injured. When Banner comes back, he likely fits into that right tackle slot. And with the play clock going down here, Big Ben is going to turn around and take a timeout.
Timeout. Pittsburgh.
And we will be right back after this message from Geico. 3:07 left here, 2nd and 15. Big possession right here with 3:07 left in the half.
It is. Remember, like, if the Broncos can force them into 3, you're not only going to get, kicking a field goal, you're not only going to get the ball back with plenty of time, but you're going to get it back in the second half for that double-up opportunity.
By the way, Smith-Schuster, it is a shoulder injury. His return questionable. Roethlisberger started to leave the pocket and almost threw it away. Alexander Johnson had both hands on it but couldn't bring it in.
Just a little option route inside to the running back, and beautifully read by Johnson. I mean, he is you talk about 3-down linebackers. Johnson's truly what I'd like to call a 1-down linebacker. I mean, his head is made of cinder block and concrete and rebar and stuff, Like, he is a guy that is a real great run defender, a real great blitzer. Had a great jump on that one, just couldn't corral it.
And Vic Fangio told us he's been playing great. Roethlisberger going toward the end zone. A flag comes in. Looking for Johnson. The coverage here by Kyle Fuller.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 23. Ball is placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
Boy, obviously just a huge penalty.
Yeah, and you're going to see it right here. He's in perfect position. And then right here, he's fine. But then he just bodies up right there. You see him wrap the hands. And listen, not that you've really affected, he doesn't look back, but not that you've really affected the receiver, but that ref can see you wrap your arms. If you don't wrap up there, even though you're really not changing, like you're not changing the way he's moving, you probably don't get called.
And now the I formation. Giving it off to Najee Harris, but he's short. He won't get there. Alexander Johnson was the first there on the stop. Alexander Johnson, told you Vic Fangio said he's been playing great. Pro Football Focus ranks him as the number 5 linebacker through 4 weeks in the NFL.
Well, I tell you what, like I said, downhill linebacker, great blitz guy. The 1-down linebacker. But if I'm Pittsburgh here, I'm saying, hey, I'm putting it on my young offensive line guys. We're going to run it 4 straight times if we have to score. That's what we're doing right here.
It is Young, rookie center, rookie left tackle, second-year guy at left guard in Dotson. But they hand it off. Harris up top. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Watch right here, 69, Dotson coming off the ball, creating a new line of scrimmage, get underneath the offensive lineman, gets underneath the defensive lineman right there, keep your legs driving so Najee Harris can jump over the top of that thing, beautifully executed up front. And I love the call, right? Let my young offensive line go out there and eat a little bit. That's exactly what they did.
And only 6 touchdowns on the season coming in, and now 2 in the first half for this Pittsburgh offense. The Johnson touchdown reception, and now the Harris short run. And the extra point is up and good. Steelers trying to end a 3-game skid, up 17-6 with 2:12 remaining in the first half. And what set it all up was that long pass to Chase Claypool. A good drive by the Steelers.
A lot of people will tell you that Ben Roethlisberger doesn't have autonomy at the line of scrimmage. Baloney, right? He saw the matchup right there. He saw Von Miller, the pass rusher, out there in the slot on Claypool and goes, oh, guess what? I know where I'm going with the football. I'm going to number 11 right there. And here's the touchdown. Harris over the top. Great takeoff by that young offensive line to create that space. Steelers.
I mean, for Ben, it's his 5th offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. You would think for sure he's got a lot of autonomy. It can't be all Canada pulling the strings, right?
Yeah, and sometimes as a coordinator, you want to have call it and run it plays. It's important for your offense to have that, right? There's certainty in that. We can get off the ball. We can create a rhythm. But Ben Roethlisberger, believe me, still has the opportunity to change the play at the line of scrimmage if he feels the desire to do that.
Well, this week, Thursday Night Football on Fox. Tom Brady and the Bucs on a roll. But Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and the Eagles, they might have something special for him in Philly. Thursday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video.
Yeah, there's a guy that could change the line of scrimmage, number 12, right?
Yeah.
Come on, Brady.
Yeah, Big Ben's not old when you compare him to Tom Brady. 4 years younger, come on. Now Bridgewater to start this drive, going to the air, solid completion to Cortland Sutton. And Sutton, celebrating his 26th birthday today, stretches it out near the 40-yard line for a gain of 15. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Pittsburgh, they've got a good one in the backfield. And the 232-pound back, Najee Harris, his latest score puts him up 17-6. Denver offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur. It's a big series right here for his crew.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You think about this right now. Possess the ball. Even if you only come out with 3 points, you possess the ball to the end of the half, 3 points, you double up, you come back, and you get the ball again with that rhythm that you've just created going into halftime.
And a field goal would make it a 1-score game. Bridgewater getting it to Sutton. And the birthday boy with another catch as he steps out of bounds to stop the clock. Gain of 12. 26 today, but he hasn't scored since 2019. Cortland Sutton last year, if you remember, tore his ACL week 2, was out the rest of the year. Hasn't found the end zone yet, but that was his 22nd catch of the season.
Yeah, he hasn't found the end zone, hasn't found his confidence in that knee either yet, but he's on his way right now with a couple of back-to-back catches.
And hold up here. Movement up front, false start.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Now that's Garrett Bowles, and he was not happy with how he played last week against Denver.
And he did,
or Baltimore, excuse me.
Yeah, he didn't play well, and had a holding call. That was something that was early, endemic of his early career. But he's played much better, played himself into a big contract. They need him to have a good day here. Crowd noise will have that effect on you sometimes.
So now 1st and 15. Bridgewater over the middle, too tall, in the direction of David Moore. Incomplete.
Well, tight window right here. David Moore down here at the bottom. Down the seam. Beautiful coverage. Millette running stride for stride. Just misses. Well, that's what got to be one of those layered over-the-top throws in there. Presents you with 2nd down and long.
Teddy Bridgewater knows Arthur Millette well. They were in New Orleans together. He's got a lot of respect for him, he told us. This time, there's Millette again on the coverage. Teddy says, I love watching him play, just doesn't want to play against him. He says he's come a long way defensively.
Yeah, and watch him. He's going to sneak up here like he's coming, right? That's him. Like he's coming now. He's going to bail out. Inside, gets his hands in there, really nice. I mean, show that you're going to be able to get that man-to-man because he's showing that blitz and then bailing out and having the ability to maintain that coverage on Moore.
There's the flag. Yet Alex Highsmith come across.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, that makes it more manageable. 3rd and 10. Bridgewater 6 of 10 so far. Surveying everywhere. Flag comes in as he just heaves it out of bounds, feeling the pressure. It's going to be a hold.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Boy, another penalty on Bowles.
Boy, really nice job by the Steelers from a coverage standpoint. They're playing zone right here. Look at Millette right there. Get underneath that roll right there. Here we go again. Beautifully done. And then Garrett Bowles, you got to know when this goes that long, you cannot pull guys down. You're really doing a good job. This is a problem. That's going to get called 100% of the time, and that's reverting back to what you were early in your career. You can't have it.
So now Sam Martin to punt it away. Pittsburgh still 2 timeouts. Fair catch at the 9. Check back in with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Brandon. Bengals trailing 16-7. 2 plays after the Packers extended their lead. Joe Burrow buys time, looks downfield, and 70 yards later finds Jamar Chase. Chase's 5th touchdown so far this year from the rookie, from his former LSU teammate. Bengals down by 2.
All right, Chris, thank you. So Denver only took 35 seconds off the clock, and now you give Ben Roethlisberger 131 and 2 timeouts.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting down here, coming off your own goal line at the 10-yard line, right? Possess the ball, see if you can get a pop-out run here, and then it changes your mentality of how aggressive you can be in attacking this defense.
Delayed handoff. And Najee Harris is dragged down. Deshaun Williams had him. Gain of 3.
Stop by Deshaun Williams.
Obviously, in this part of the field, you're going to be a little more conservative. That's what they're doing right now. They're huddling up, taking their time.
Hey, come on. Hey, 40. Man.
They'll let it roll down inside of a minute. There's Deontay Johnson. He had the big touchdown catch on the opening drive. Flag again here. For the moment, it's a 1st down for Deontay Johnson.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's the center, one of those young rookies, Kendrick Green.
Yeah, well, this is tough. The reason he's got downfield is this is an RPO game, right? So you're throwing this handoff, but there's nobody covering on the backside right here to Johnson. And so Ben Roethlisberger sees it. You're going to play off coverage. I can throw it, get a 1st down to Johnson, and have him step out of bounds. So you're doing a delayed draw as an offensive lineman. You don't know that the quarterback decided to throw it out there. But that's a pretty tight call there. Usually they give you a little leeway, about 2.5 yards.
Instead, now it's 2nd and 12. And they'll be conservative here. Najee Harris got to get to the outside. Tackled inbounds. He wants a flag. But there is none to be had after a 13-yard gain.
How strong is Harris? Stiff arm. They're playing fast now, but that's a great run.
Hey, Ray.
But they've started this drive pretty slow and not really in much of a rush until now. Now there is Eric Ebron, so you got 23 seconds, and they're going to take a timeout. All right, Kurt Menefee, what's coming up on the Verizon halftime report?
Hey, I got one for you.
What?
How much did it cost Tom Brady to pierce his ears?
How much?
A Buccaneer. Get it? He plays for the Buccaneers. They're taking on the Dolphins today.
What else you got?
Highlights from the rest of the early games as well.
Okay.
You want to hear it?
What?
Well, you can. Coming up on the Verizon halftime.
That's good. I like that.
Well, that was the ultimate dad joke right there, Kurt.
Yeah, that's good. That's the kind of jokes I tell right there. Buccaneer.
But Pittsburgh, really, they looked like they weren't in any rush. Now they've only got 23 seconds. See how they play this. They are enjoying the 17-6 lead. 1 timeout left. Their delayed handoff. This time it's Kalen Ballage, but he's going nowhere. Stopped in the backfield. And I think they're going to be content to let this wind down to zeros now.
As they should. I mean, there are more problems from this area of the football field than there are solutions. And so you're just good. If you're Tomlin, it's good, man. We've played a really good first half. We've run the ball. We've controlled the tempo of this game. We've kept our quarterback clean. I'm happy to go into halftime with this right now.
17-6 the lead. All right, let's take a look at the play of the first half, brought to you by State Farm. Set for week 5 with the Steelers hosting the Broncos. Now Roethlisberger's going to air it out, and it's caught in stride. Deontay Johnson. Handed off. Harris up top. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. That was today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. First half stats. See the numbers, just 107 in the yardage category for the Broncos, 248 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who also controlled the time of possession and leading at 17-6. Good news for the Broncos, they are set to receive it with Spencer back deep. On the run, he takes it just inside the 10. And he gets tripped up. Boy, flag here as he almost broke that down the sideline.
During the return, holding, return team number 12. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's not how Denver wanted to start the third quarter, but if you are this offense, only 107 yards in the first half, where do they turn?
All right, I feel like Curly from City Slickers. One thing, and I don't care what that one thing is, find one thing that you can do well, lean on that, and then build adjunct plays off of it. So I don't care if it's handoff wide, handoff tight, I don't care what the passing game is, find one thing that you can do efficiently and build.
Remember, they only scored 7 points last week. That's when Bridgewater was knocked down the first half and Drew Lock played the second. Well, good start there getting it to Sutton as we go down to Syracuse.
Mark, Vic Fangio agreed with you. I asked about the offense. He said, we just need to get a first down and make some plays defensively. He said, we're giving up too much on the corner and too much in the run. And with that being said, Mike Tomlin, I asked about the run game development we've seen here so far today. He said, we're just simply taking what the defense is giving us. That's what it's been about. We need to make sure that we win the possession game. And, of course, how their defense has played for the Steelers and forcing some field goals, getting some stops in the red zone has certainly helped.
Sarah, speaking of those first downs, that was just their 5th first down of the game there on the catch by Cortland Sutton. Here's the ground game. Hard running up the middle, Melvin Gordon. But Gordon only had 3 carries in the first half, but he gets a good chunk there.
And one of the things the Steelers are doing right now is you look at them, 8, 9 guys right up close to the line of scrimmage. They're basically saying, we'll give you the one-on-ones outside. We don't fear our cornerbacks, whether it's Hayden, whether it's Pierre. We feel like we match up well against your wide receiver. So we're basically saying, you're not running against us. If you want to throw it, we'll let you throw it, but you're not going to run it.
Still Gordon in the backfield, the 2-time Pro Bowler. But Bridgewater wants to throw it, tries to dump it underneath, and he does fit it in there to Melvin Gordon. And he's brought down by Alex Highsmith. Close to the first down marker. And they'll give it to him, first down. Melvin Gordon, of course, I mentioned the 2 Pro Bowls with the Chargers. 2016 and 2018, the 2 Pro Bowls. His best game this year, it was week 1 that went over the Giants. Rushed for over 100 yards. Another opportunity. This time, at Pittsburgh front, ready to roll. Joe Schobert, the first to get there.
Well, you see him just tying up the whole line of scrimmage right here, all the guys, and it allows linebackers to flow. Look, Joe Schobert, nobody even touches Joe because they do such a good job of controlling double teams, controlling, not letting that offensive line gain that second level, get up to that linebacker. And so you've got free flow and linebackers that, with Joe there, just nobody even blocking him. That's just tackling practice.
And he was the guy Schobert acquired from Jacksonville mid-preseason on August 14th. Here comes some pressure. Bridgewater able to get rid of it, and there is Patrick near midfield, catching it for the first down, a gain of 12.
So you want to play quarterback in the National Football League coming off a concussion, right? Devin Bush right here. Watch the hit. Delayed rush. Hitting Teddy Bridgewater perfectly clean right there, but Teddy just delivering a strike. You know you're going to get hit, right? You know you're coming off that concussion. Your guts to just stand in there and deliver one on time.
He told us all he had to go through all the checks this week to make sure he was cleared. Again, he got in practice on Friday as they escort Gordon out of bounds. But they said, Teddy, you got to memorize 10 words on Monday. And when we met with him on Friday, he could still regurgitate 7 of those 10 words that he had to memorize for concussion protocol. Baby, monkey, perfume, saddle, mirror, elbow, and sapphire. He still rattled them off.
Yeah, and I walk out to my garage and I wonder why I'm out there. I'm like standing out there going, well, I'm in my garage. I'm going to go back in the kitchen. I can't remember anything.
But he went through the battery of tests, and Teddy Bridgewater trying to lead this offense and get him on the right track. Only 2 field goals so far. Looking for a hole. Gordon spinning. Brought down by big Cam Hayward, the captain who's made the last 4 Pro Bowls for Pittsburgh.
Watch the hand fighting Cam Hayward right here. Watch his inside hands. Look at this. Inside hand. Now I've got you one hand. Now I can just release, get off that block, use the other arm to wrap you up. I mean, it's just beautifully done. It's so much about your hands and your feet. That's how you play this game. Brilliantly done by Cam Hayward. Great hands on the inside.
Remember, just 1 of 6 on 3rd down in the first half, and the ball batted in the air, and it falls in front of Kendall Hinton, and it's Hayward again, Stink, getting his hand in there.
Yeah, second block down today, or knocked down today, and they're running a little game between Hayward and the outside linebacker, or the inside linebacker. He slides across the formation, feels the ball about ready to be released, and again, you understand you haven't gotten penetration, you're not really involved in the pass rush. Stop the rush, give ground, see if you can knock one down.
And even more asked of Hayward was Stephon Tuitt on the IR on that Pittsburgh D-line. They also have Tyson Alualu on the defensive line who's injured. So not the start that the Broncos were hoping for after only 2 field goals in the first half. Now we'll see what Big Ben, McLeod, and the rest of this Steelers offense can do.
Today's game is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance.
The great John Elway, of course, he wore number 7 in Denver. That's why Ben Roethlisberger wears number 7 in Pittsburgh. That was his idol growing up. He's in the house today, Denver president of football operations. Of course, he won a couple of Super Bowl titles in Denver. Big Ben has won a couple in Pittsburgh. A lot of parallels between the two. But the man on my right, Mark Schlereth, he's won 3 Super Bowls, more than both of those guys. As Pittsburgh starts this drive again on the ground, and now they've got the 11-point lead. Curious to see how Matt Canada handles this possession.
Well, you mentioned the 7s, right? Can you come out at halftime and put 7 up as an offensive coordinator? Can you use that as a play caller to continue to build on what you did in the first half? I thought he was brilliant in the first half, using the run game to set up some of the passes. We'll see if that can continue, because this is where you can get a lot of confidence, not only as a play caller, but your players can get a lot of confidence in you as a play caller.
Harris, after that last run at 94 yards. Pittsburgh hasn't had a 100-yard rusher in 16 games, and that changes right there on cue. He's into the triple digits, Najee Harris.
That's a Pittsburgh Steelers.
I love this double teams, and then watch Cody White right here. He's going to come up in here and basically get this block. Insert, they call that. He inserts on Kareem Jackson, takes him to the ground, and the rest is history for Harris going over 100 yards.
17 yards on that play. The first time since James Conner had 101 against Cleveland in October of last year. He gets a breather. They bring back in Balaj. Kalen Balaj to the 40.
You know what's amazing? When you have balance, and it's not just about running the football, but when you create balance, you have the ability for your offensive line to be aggressive. I always talk to teams about taking the passive out of pass protection. Now all of a sudden we throw a 5-step drop, I can attack the line of scrimmage, and guess what? You read run, you've had to defend it for this long, you're defending it, now guess what you're not doing? Rushing the passer. Ben Roethlisberger coming in this game, they gave up 10 sacks on him this year. Right now, he's been pretty clean in the pocket.
Saw that note on the Denver defense. No rusher has had 60 yards against him this year, let alone going over 100. Flag coming in. Brad Rogers getting it sorted out, our third-year referee.
Holding. Offense. Number 69. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
All right, let's go back to L.A. Here's Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Brandon. Saints-Washington tied at 13. 8 seconds left in the first half. Jameis Winston buys some time. Hail Mary caught by Marquez Callaway. 49-yard score. Saints leading this one at the beginning of the third, 20-13.
All right, Carissa, thank you. 2nd and 17 now for Big Ben and company. Roethlisberger to Harris out of the backfield. That's where he's been so good this year. He can run it, but yes, he can catch it too. 14-yard gain.
Just running a quick little Texas route right here. He's going to come out of the backfield, stick his foot in the ground, and exploit that in between defenders. And then he's just so powerful with the ball in his hands. But this is where he's made the biggest improvement. Understanding without the ball in the hand. Spatial awareness, what you're doing, especially in the passing game. That's where he's made his biggest advancement so far this young season.
Only player in the NFL 175 yards receiving and rushing in the NFL coming into this week. It was a second catch for 20 on the day. Back to the air. There's Claypool upended down inside the 45. Roethlisberger a little dinged up again.
And here he is. We just talked about him off the ball. Now watch him come across the formation, pick up the blitzer right there. Now you'd like to see, this is the next progression for a young back. The farther you can get up into the line of scrimmage when you pick that up, the better off you are. And you can see Ben Roethlisberger struggling with the hand. He's still shaking it off as he gets ready to bark out the signals.
And he hit it on the follow through. Najee Harris makes a man miss. Alabama's all-time leading rusher gets 7 more. Ben still trying to figure out that hand issue. Remember the hip, the pec, a lot of dings this year for number 7.
Yeah, what did Shakira say? Those hips don't lie. I mean, look at that. Look at that pad right there.
I got to tell you, when I showed up to the booth today, I didn't see Shakira making it into the broadcast.
I could give you, look at that. There's the pad right there. I could give you a Sir Mix-a-Lot as well. Benny's got back.
Little extra junk in the trunk for Big Ben today. 2nd and 3 off the play fake. Roethlisberger lofts it in. Ooh, a drop. Cody White, he's gotten time due to some injuries at wide receiver. Only 2 catches on the year, but he couldn't bring that in.
Ben just a little bit behind Cody White right there, but you got to come up with that. I mean, that's right through the breadbasket.
Undrafted free agent. Actually, Denver cut him last year at the end of camp. Steelers signed him to their practice squad, and now he's getting a couple opportunities here this season.
Vic Fangio, head coach of the Broncos, told us don't be lulled to sleep. Ben Roethlisberger can still throw it, and you've seen it so far today.
Hey, Lenny. Hey, tighten.
Third down and 3. And Roethlisberger fires a strike. Pat Freiermuth. And here they go. Muth, they say, here in the Steel City.
And all you're trying to do is you're trying to create out of a bunch formation traffic. And then Ben Roethlisberger just puts a little cheese on it right there, keeping that shoulder closed, step into it, and there's the bunch, right? You're just trying to create traffic. You create a little bump there. We like to call that a pick on the offensive side of the ball, not necessarily, a rub, not a pick. Defensive guys call it a pick. We call that just rubbing guys a little bit.
Freiermuth, the rookie second-round pick out of Penn State, picking up the first down. Najee Harris hesitating, and this time there's no hole and nowhere to go, and he's dropped for a 1-yard loss. You had Callahan there as well as Malik Reed.
Remember, they were in this big-time formation, a big-time pass in the first half out of this trips look. They're about ready to get back in it.
Timeout taken in Pittsburgh. A Denver defense trying to keep Pittsburgh at bay. Remember, the Broncos started 3-0, wins over the Giants, Jacksonville, and the Jets. Then the loss last week to Baltimore. Now down here 11 on the road in the third quarter. Pittsburgh coming up on a 2nd down and 11 after the timeout.
This is where you just want to get some of that yardage back. You don't have to push it all the way down the field. You've got a matchup do you like right now?
Been 196 yards. Delayed handoff. Harris. Lucky to maybe even get back near the line of scrimmage. The penetration was quick by Shelby Harris there. So now you got a 3rd down. You're in field goal range. Let's see what Pittsburgh opts to do here. Claypool's been the leading receiver. 3 catches for 96 yards.
Lenny. 45. Joker. Tighten.
Motion Claypool, and Roethlisberger lost it, but well in front of Ray McCloud. Incomplete. 4th down.
Just running a little exchange right here where they're going to move these two guys, essentially switch them at the line of scrimmage, but just an errant throw by Ben. He's had a couple of those today, and he talked about being better. He takes one right there, but he talked about being better mechanically, and sometimes he gets a little loose throwing the football. That's one of those situations where he got a little loose.
He's hit 6 different receivers, but has not connected with McCloud, although he's tried him 3 times. 50-yarder for Boswell. He hit from 52 last week, and he does it again. He is now 12 of 15 in his career. Wait, a flag. But if it stands, he's 12 of 15 over 50 yards in his career, Chris Boswell. Well, they're sorting all this out.
I'm wondering if Draymond Jones used the offensive line of the Steelers to elevate himself.
Now Brad Rogers going to ask Mike Tomlin, so this is against Denver, and Vic Fangio has not been happy often on that sideline today with another scowl.
I don't know if that's a scowl or that's just his normal look.
That's just Vic Fangio.
Right, that might just be the normal look from Vic.
Personal foul, leverage, defense, number 93. That's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And, I mean, that's just gigantic.
Right.
And you're right, Draymond Jones. Wow.
You can't use the players to elevate over the top, so you cannot jump on top of them and use them to push yourself over. And he's right here in the middle of the screen, hard to see here, but there he is on top, using the backs of the Steelers to jump over the top. Here it is. You see how he gets elevation there? Illegal. They call that leverage, as you heard.
So instead of 20-6 in a 14-point game, now the Steelers at the 18-yard line, 1st and 10 with new life. Denver brings 5. No flag, incomplete in front of Najee Harris, limping a little bit after that one.
Najee down here at the bottom of the screen. 6 foot in the ground. Really nice coverage by Sternad.
Hobbling a little bit, trying to stretch it out.
Right. Just a little calf cramp or something of that nature.
Boy, he plays a ton of snaps. He played every snap week 1, 95% of the snaps weeks 2 and 3. He has 22 carries here and a couple of catches. Out of the backfield again, they'll look for him. Ooh, almost intercepted. Another opportunity there for Alexander Johnson. He almost had a pick in the first half.
Slips on the, you see him, he'll slip on the Texas route here, just the inside route. So he's going to get here, bam, cut across, use that momentum, and watch him slip, feet come out from underneath him. And that's Roethlisberger just throwing it to an area, right? He's just expecting his receiver to be there and hits Alexander Johnson right in the chest.
And then gingerly getting off the field. That was from 2 plays ago. As they work on him, 3rd down and 10. Balaj back in the game. And Roethlisberger, with 1 on the play clock, turns around and takes Pittsburgh's first timeout.
Timeout.
Well, start Saturday strong on Fox. Reggie Bush, Coach Stoops, and the Big Noon Kickoff pregame crew. And then it's Oklahoma State and Texas in the Big Noon Saturday game of the week, all starting Saturday, 10 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. We talked about all these guys out here from Alabama. Harris right now injured, one of them, but Alabama losing yesterday, the college game, a little bit of a free-for-all, and a lot of concern, I'm sure, right now for number 22.
Yeah, and the way they're working on it, it just, you know, again, you don't want to speculate, but it just feels like it's a pulled or a little bit of a calf cramp or something of that nature. I mean, it's hot out here today. Yeah. It's been in the close to 80 degrees, and as you mentioned, Harris spends a ton of time on the football field.
Well over 90% of the snaps. Big Ben actually said, you know, wonder if maybe we're using him a little too much. Roethlisberger going for the end zone. Touchdown. Chase Claypool, 18 yards. Roethlisberger's second of the game.
Well, you see him in the slot right there, tight up against it. He's just running through the seam. Spreads a little bit. You see how he gets a little bit of width there to get away from the middle of the field safety. Beautiful route, beautiful design. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Boy, now how big is that penalty by Draymond Jones? 14-play drive, 86 yards, and the Steelers up 24-6. Roethlisberger, number 402.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new 2021 Ford F-150. Tough this smart could only be called F-150. And by Rocket Mortgage. For the playbook on home loans, Rocket can.
Claypool now up over 100 yards, his first touchdown catch of the season. Remember, he had 9 last year. Great rookie campaign. And again, Big Ben just sang his praises.
Yeah, he really did. He said this guy could be the best in the league. The size, speed, combination, and it's just about continuing to do the work. And you saw a great route as he separated some from the safety to give Ben that window to throw it in there.
But Stink, those Denver miscues, the penalty on the field goal. Remember, they had a defensive pass interference in the end zone on 3rd down earlier in the game. They only got 3 points off that Roethlisberger fumble. They just haven't gotten anything going.
No, and this is where this is the fear that you have. I mean, Teddy hasn't even thrown it. Teddy Bridgewater hasn't thrown it for over 100 yards yet. And now you get into a position where now you're chasing points. So now you've got to abandon the run game. Now it's just about throwing. And this is where the Steelers as a defense can pin their ears back and come after the quarterback.
Now you're right, only 84 yards, 9 of 15 for Bridgewater.
Here comes the blitz.
Yep, they're bringing it. Bridgewater stays in there and finds Tim Patrick. And Patrick able to stay on his feet for a few extra yards out across the 40. 19-yard gain.
Well, it's all about the pressure, right? I mean, you're bringing it up the middle here. You're trying to get I mean, look at all those bodies in there for the Steelers. Good job of protection right there. So you're getting what? You're going to get the one-on-one on the comeback route to Tim Patrick, a guy that I think you need to get involved. This is the go-to guy. He's a great football player. Go get him the ball. That is now 132 consecutive targets to Patrick without a drop. That's the longest current streak in the National Football League. Sure hands of Tim Patrick makes it 1st and 10 again. Bridgewater brought down. Coming off the edge, Henry Mondu. His first sack of the season. Mondu does a little spin move. Here he is right here up top. Watch the spin. Hup, right there. And you get that back arm. We used to call that the ninja, right? You spin, get him with the back arm. You see how the back arm pulls himself through? Gets the sack right there. Go ahead and dance. Look at the hair. It's not a great dance. I get it, but you know what? I mentioned his first sack. He only played 18 snaps all season before today. Makes it 2nd and 18, big 8-yard loss. Now they go back to Javonte Williams. Just not much there. He and Gordon have not been able to get that ground game established. And Williams had that one big carry, but besides that, it's been nothing. When that defensive line does their job, when they do their job well, that means you get free-flowing linebackers, and Joe Schobert pretty much unblocked there for another tackle. And you'll see them rotate linebackers here. Spillane in there, 41. Bridgewater looking for 15 yards underneath Patrick. Still a long way to go, and he will not get there. Well, you're at the 50. Do you think about going for this? You have to. You have to. You're down right now, 24-6. I mean, this is where the rubber meets the road. You've got to go for it. You've got to produce right here. Will they get a play in or let it wind down? I don't think they're going to get it off. Nope. And they can stew about it. And Pittsburgh's led it since the opening drive, and as we start the 4th, Denver, huge 4th down. What do you think they go to? I'm telling you what, they haven't gone to Fant yet all day long. Outside the numbers right now, Noah Fant, and we'll see, but he's a go-to tight end that they haven't got the ball to one time. Sutton and Patrick, the leaders, each with 4 catches. Bridgewater, and he goes back to Patrick. He stretches. It's going to be close. Did he get that right arm far enough? Boy, that is close. Nobody is signaling down there. He did a great job of understanding where he is short. His body's short. Watch him just throw this arm out there. Ball in his left hand. Does he get it out over? Boy, that's close. The awareness, the presence of mind to stretch that ball over that line.
Well, they've got the football down and they're bringing out the chains to measure this. Vic Fangio waiting anxiously. They stretch out the chain, and by the nose of the football, they say he got it. Maybe not even the nose. Maybe the nose hair of the football. A pretty good spot for Tim Patrick.
Well, I'll go back to Tim Patrick and say, guys, just a football playing Jesse. Understanding the position. Now, where is that ball when that knee hits the ground? That's what you've got to ask yourself. That line is not official, but clearly on that picture, stretches it over that red line. So I think it's a pretty good spot. I don't think you can challenge it. I think they'd uphold it. So the Broncos move on with the first down.
You feel like now they have a little bit of life, but still just the 2 field goals to their credit. Gonna turn around, give it to Javonte Williams. Williams, those hard runs, man. The Baltimore defenders last week said he's so tough to bring down, and you can see why.
I mean, elusive at the point. Hayden has an opportunity right there, sticks his foot in the ground, breaks that tackle, and then Spillane right there. He carries him for an extra 4 or 5 yards as the cavalry gets there. Really a tough runner, looking for contact, and you're so wired up to take him down because you know how hard he runs. He's elusive enough to give you that wiggle to get by you at the same time.
7 carries, 62 yards. Now they give it to him going the other way. He's got a couple of blockers, but upended as Pittsburgh and Minkah Fitzpatrick sniff it out defensively.
Minkah Fitzpatrick from 15 yards deep in the middle of the football field right here. You watch him diagnose. Now he's coming down out of your screen. All of a sudden, boom, undercuts right there. Minkah, we talked to him about that name. He was named after his father, but it means justice, right? And I tell you what, dispensed a little justice right there. 39, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, the name dates all the way back to his grandfather now in its 3rd generation. 2nd and 11. That one is incomplete. Well, the first time we talked about Noah Fant that they've gone the tight end's way, but it falls down 3rd and 11. Remember, no Albert O. He's out with a hamstring injury, so Fant and Saubert are the 2 tight ends.
Well, you're in 3rd and 11. This is 4-down territory as far as I'm concerned. I know you're getting close to field goal territory, but you pick up half of this, put yourself in a 4th and manageable situation if that's what you need to do. But to me, you're in 4-down territory, being down 24-6.
Broncos 2 of 8 on 3rd down. Pressure, gets it off. Well, that makes it a manageable 4th down. 4th and short after he goes right back to Noah Fant for the catch.
Just a little wide check delay right here. Get a bump if you're the tight end. It's a nice way to help your tackle out. Bump, tight end, little stab, and then leak out right there for that big gain. 9 yards, I suppose, on 3rd and 11, putting you in this 4th and 2, a manageable situation.
Fant 19th catch of the season, and now a huge play coming up. Bridgewater got to have it. Lofts it, and he's got him. Sutton. And Sutton chucked out by Fitzpatrick. It'll be 1st and goal.
Well, this is a great little route combination because you're going to get this flat and you're going to get that corner right there, and everybody jumps that flat 4th and 2. They're thinking it's going to go to Patrick, and you got to have some guts, and then you got to take one right here. Minkah Fitzpatrick, go ahead on the sideline. Give him a little mouthful right there, but great job holding on the ball and great guts, right, by Teddy Bridgewater saying, man, I'm going to take the big one. I'm not going to take the little 1st down out route to speed out to Tim Patrick. I'm going for the big cheese.
And
that's Portland.
He got big cheese. 25 yards to set him up here. Play fake. Bridgewater, and that one incomplete. Patrick fell down. He's looking around. He wanted a flag on Pierre, but there is none.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little hand, but you can do that inside 5 yards, right? Watch him come on the whip, right? He's going to come down, fake the shallow cross, put your foot in the ground, spin out of it. And unfortunately, as he's spinning out, he spins out. I mean, So puts him on the ground. I think it's a good no call right there by the referees.
Denver, just one touchdown last week, have not reached the end zone yet. They need it here, 2nd and goal. Teddy Bridgewater, he's going to try to take off, and he's taken down. Flag comes in here. Isaiah Loudermilk, the one to get him. We'll see what the penalty's about.
I think it's going to be a holding call on Cushenberry, possibly.
Holding. Offense. Number 79.
Yep.
10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's the center. You're right, Stink. Cushenberry really struggled in this game a year ago against Pittsburgh.
Right in the middle right here, and you see him get beat on the outside, just wraps up, tries to take Bugs down.
Yeah, these two teams met here week 2 last year, and Cushenberry and that offensive line gave up a lot of pressure. 7 sacks in that one. So back him up, 2nd and goal. Bridgewater, nowhere to go. He's going to run it. Spinning and diving forward just shy of the goal line. It'll bring up 3rd down. Gain of 11.
Steelers doing a great job right here. You see Pierre, really nice job outside on the edge. Nobody's open. Playing a little zone down here, double teaming. That's Kendall Hinton in the inside, and then Teddy Bridgewater just does it on his own right here to put them in a 3rd and manageable situation. 2 yards outside the goal line.
You got that big, powerful back in Javonte Williams. They fake the give to him. Bridgewater being chased by Watt, and he throws it out of the back of the end zone.
TJ Watt coming off the edge right up here on top, and watch him just not being blocked. Noah Fant misses. Just, one thing about Watt, just the unrelenting effort by Watt. Guy's so blue collar, works so hard, plays so hard. He's so much fun to watch.
And this, for all intents and purposes, could be the ball game. Bridgewater, he's got him. Touchdown. Kendall Hinton, just his 3rd catch of the season. An easy toss from Bridgewater, the 1st touchdown today for the Denver Broncos.
The ex-quarterback, he started a game. Well, he didn't really start a game, but he played a game. And then watch this flow. They're going to go that way, and they're going to give him a little slide route, right? So he's going to get hid behind all that offensive line movement. See how he hides, and then bam, wide open. Nobody covers him. They don't see him leaking out of the backfield on the flanker slide off the play action look.
14-play, 75-yard drive. They had to have it, and they got it. Kendall Hinton. You mentioned last year he spent a game at quarterback unexpectedly. Here it's the quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, finding him.
Want to tackle your fitness? Hey Siri, tell me more about Apple Fitness Plus.
Teddy Bridgewater finding Kendall Hinton in the end zone. First touchdown of the last 6 quarters for the Broncos. They only put up 7 points last week in the loss to Baltimore. Hinton's first touchdown of his career. So that makes this game a little more interesting now. 24-13 with 10:15 remaining. McLeod awaits the kick from McManus. And he'll return it from a yard deep. But nowhere to go as he's brought down shy of the 20. But Ben Roethlisberger, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 214 yards. He's looked pretty good all in all.
He really has looked good, and this offense has looked good. Taking some pressure off right now. They've made the big plays. They've run the ball. And you know, when you watch what they're doing, they're having some fun. Ain't nothing but a good time, right? It's like Poison, my boy Brett Michaels right there. That's what they're doing right now, having a good time. And to continue that good time, you know what you have to do? You got to go out and close this game out if you're Pittsburgh.
But a good sign to help do that. Behind him, Najee Harris is back out there. Remember, he left on the last drive. 119 yards on 22 carries. And here's number 23 for number 22. And he takes it out to the 22. Well, for more on Ben, let's go back down to Sarah.
B.G. Von Miller was talking about the first time he played Ben, which was about a decade ago, and he said he was so big that was the first time Von realized you just had to try and tackle his arm. He said that's really where I adopted the way that I play. I look for the ball, I go for it every time, so I don't even see the quarterback, and obviously Von Miller has done well throughout the course of his career, but we've seen some of those type of plays going straight for that arm, straight for the ball from Von.
Yeah, they call him Big Ben for a reason. 6'5", 240. Vaughn, 250 pounds on the other side. Hesitating, Harris finds a hole. Here come the flags at the end from the back side of this play as he's tackled Harris at the 25.
Holding. Offense. Number 53. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
So the holding penalty, but Harris is in some pain again. He's walking off to the sideline. Reaching back to that right calf again.
Well, you can see the hold right here. Really good initially, but when Purcell tries to get off, you see that jersey stretch? Hands inside. There's nothing wrong with the hands inside, but when the jersey stretches, that's when you get that call. Harris certainly, it's hurting him now.
So they bring Benny Snell in here. Second down and 16.
Blue 20.
Denver certainly needs this stop. They're going to toss it to Snell. And Benny Snell tripped up as he falls forward across the 20-yard line. Kareem Jackson again with a stop.
All right. Well, I mean, pitch it out there. Let your guy pick his area. Little athleticism. There's 22 again showing up. Kareem Jackson. Always around the football when you run it.
Starter all 12 years in the NFL, Kareem Jackson. And with that stop, it makes it third down and 7 here.
Hey, Ralph!
From the gun, Roethlisberger. Pressure. Gets rid of it. Nowhere near. As Bryce Callahan was quickly on Ray McLeod. And the Denver defense gets the stop that they needed.
Third down 11, bring pressure man-to-man right now, and Ben Roethlisberger hits the crossing route, but Callahan right there, Johnny on the spot playing downhill. Look how he stays on that upfield shoulder so he doesn't get in a trail position. He runs from top to bottom on top of it, and that's exactly how you play that man-to-man coverage.
But unfortunately for Denver, Draymond Jones never got up after that last play. You see him trying to pound the fluids. Third-year man out of Ohio State. You mentioned it's kind of deceptively hot. It is a beautiful day, but the temperatures have climbed up near 80 degrees.
Not only that, but both sidelines up until recently have been in the sun the whole time. Now Pittsburgh is in the shade, but Denver is not in the shade.
That's the road treatment.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's a good sign. Jones walking off. They think he's got a bright future. Had 6.5 sacks last year, but he hasn't had one this season.
But he's disruptive. Like, don't let that. This is where stats lie to you, right? The stats you say, well, he hasn't had a sack. Boy, he's in the backfield. He is. I mean, he creates opportunities for other guys on a consistent basis, and that's what sets him apart.
Presley Harvin, rookie punter from Georgia Tech.
Oh,
how about that boomer? He led all college football in punting last season. You saw evidence of it there. 62-yard punt. But Denver with a football back, down 11 and still 7:40 to play.
This big noon Saturday on Fox, the kickoff crew gets it started at 10 Eastern.
And look at him go!
And then Bijan Robinson and Texas face number 12 Oklahoma State. All part of Big Noon Saturday on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Presley Harvin, 6 foot, 255-pound punter, flipping the field. Look at this big boy back there, 62-yard punt.
Yeah, it's like a big dancing bear back there. Look at the limber. I mean, you lose a couple D linemen, you can roll them over there and say, hey, brother, can you play some nose for us?
Tell you what, punt. He's a gifted piano player, of all things, as well. Handing it off here, starting on the ground. So how about this? Coming in, they were 5 of 5 on 4th down, and they had 3 4th down conversions stink on that last drive.
Yeah, amazing. That 4th down to Tim Patrick, and then the big one over the top. Courtland Sutton, then the touchdown to Hinton.
So 8 of 8 on 4th down this year for Denver, but they're still down by 11. That helps. Once again, it's the sure hands of Tim Patrick, who is really developing into a star. 15 yards on that play.
Great coverage. He's just running a little in-cutting route right there. Teddy Bridgewater puts it on the money, but that's Tim Patrick for you. He doesn't wow you in shorts and a T-shirt. He's just a really good football player.
One thing to note, Devin Bush, leg injury. He's not out there right now. And a little short of the line to gain there as Sutton picks it up for 9 yards, and they're in a hurry here. And Bush will not return defensively. We are told he is done for the rest of this ball game. Second and 1, Gordon. Melvin Gordon charges ahead, no problem, first down. Feel like this Denver offense finally has a little rhythm.
Little rhythm, they're executing, you know, they're keeping, and one of the great things about what they're doing right now is they're still keeping a little bit of balance running the football, right? Making sure that you as a defense, being Pittsburgh, have got to play both. So they're staying on top of that.
Crowd again trying to come to life to disrupt him. Bridgewater, he's going to air this thing out. He's got him. Touchdown. Diving catch, Courtland Sutton. 39 yards. And folks, we got a ball game in the Steel City.
Well, you know what, Pierre right here, he's the new corner, he's in for Sutton, and you're going to see the double move, the stop, little stutter goal. Courtland Sutton gets the separation after he runs the stutter go. You're playing the comeback, he goes deep on you, and a beautifully laid out football by Teddy Bridgewater.
And Sutton now 7 catches, 120 yards, beating the coverage, as you pointed out, of Pierre, and now they go for 2 to try to make this a 3-point game. First time they've gone for 2 this season. Hinton motions. Bridgewater, no. Looking for Sutton again, and there are no flags. Joe Hayden on the coverage, incomplete. But we got a ball game. Courtland Sutton, happy 26th birthday. That's a pretty good way to celebrate right there. Teddy Bridgewater now 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions, and now on the season 138 pass attempts. He's yet to throw a pick.
And say what you will about, you know, check down Teddy and game manager Teddy. He went over the top to Sutton on a 39-yard TD right there. And I tell you what, man, you're talking about 3rd and 4th wide receivers. He's still able to distribute the football.
Touchback here. Reminder coming up next. America's Game of the Week. Saquon Barkley and the Giants taking on Dak and the Cowboys, or an NFC West battle, 49ers and the Cardinals. Check local listings for the game in your area right here on Fox and the Fox Sports app. All right, so all eyes shifting back to that Bronco defense. If they can get another stop, here's the offensive leaders for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, Bear.
Snell is still out there. Najee Harris had the injury. Had a big first half, 122 yards, but on the sideline right now. And it's Snell. Now, it's easy to say they want to run some clock, but if you're Matt Canada, how are you working this possession?
Right, well, I like the start right there, right? Run the ball, make sure you play that. Make sure Matt Canada has the defense playing that. What you're seeing right now from the Broncos is they're inserting a safety down in there. They're saying you're not going to run it against us. So perfect opportunity for a play-action pass, maybe a quick bubble screen to get you in third and manageable or move these chains.
Boom alert down.
First yard gain was for 2, second and 8.
Blue 20. Blue 20.
There's a quick throw and a first down into the hands of Deontay Johnson. And Johnson breaks it all the way out toward midfield for a gain of 22.
They just call this a dart. That's what they call this. And you watch this slant right here, right now. Ben Roethlisberger, that's a run play that's called. He's just over there looking at Deontay Johnson saying, you see what I see? And he's going, yeah, I see it, Ben. I see it, right? I've got that opening. Runs the quick slant right there. Because if you watch that offensive line, they all came up. So don't tell me Ben Roethlisberger doesn't have autonomy at the line of scrimmage. He saw it. Johnson saw it. Big gain. First down.
Big Ben said with Johnson, we just want to get him the ball in space and let him take off with that speed. And that's what they did there. Roethlisberger this time going to Claypool. Claypool breaks free. And all of a sudden, they're already in field goal range. 16 yards on that play.
Look at Ben Roethlisberger. I'm going to pull it down here. Now let me get back over here. That's knowing where all 5 eligibles are before you throw the football. And then I love what Claypool does right here, right? Don't go out of bounds. Just sit down. Let's keep this clock running. Let's keep this offense on the football field.
Breather for Claypool. 5 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown for him today.
Now you go back to the running game, right? You threw 2 passes, made 2 first downs. Now let's run some more clock.
And they do. To the outside, Benny Snell. Snell able to get away from Surtain, but then that Bronco defense rallies.
And that's where inexperience will get you. Just put your foot in the ground, stick your nose up the football field. Don't go side to side. Give me a couple of yards. Be physical. And that's one where you go back and coach them up and say, hey, listen, man, know when the play is dead. Go get us 3 yards. Go get us an extra little push there, and we move on to second down.
Denver takes the timeout, and we check in again with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Brandon. Letting you guys know that America's Game of the Week is coming up next. Daniel Jones, fresh off that career day and Giants win over the Saints versus Dak Prescott. Cowboys rolling, looking to extend their winning streak to 4 games. It's all coming up next. Joe, Troy, Aaron, and Tom have the call.
All right, thank you very much.
Dak Prescott, not only comeback player of the year, but I mean he's an MVP candidate the way he's playing right now.
Fantastic.
It's amazing.
For all the flack at times he's received in Dallas, looking pretty good. So Denver 1 timeout. Of course, the clock will stop as well at the 2-minute warning. Snell this time right ahead through the tackles, but to the 30. And watch Justin Simmons here stink.
Yeah, Justin Simmons. You want to talk about, he's going to come into the frame over here and just come screaming down in here. Now, again, right, you're inviting them to run, but you know as a safety, I've got the fill, right? I've got to run that alley. We're going to invite them to hand the ball off, but I got to get down at the line of scrimmage. And between he and Kareem Jackson, man, those are 2 of the finest safeties in football.
Justin Simmons, his wife Taryn, doing 2 weeks with their second daughter. Looking forward to that. Now a 3rd down and 5. A big play here. And Ben is going to take the timeout.
Timeout.
So each team with 1 timeout remaining. Look at it here. 2:39 remaining. 3rd down and 5. Well, what do you think? I mean, Denver, impressive that they've come this far back, and this is a huge play here if they can get the stop. Because if they score a field goal, the Steelers, it's still a 1-score game.
You're right. And, you know, in that play, right before they called the timeout, Ray McLeod was in the slot, uncovered, guy off him, and you heard Ben Roethlisberger go, Ray. And I don't know if they were on that same kind of connection right there. And so then he had to call the timeout. But this RPO game, especially in this drive, has really worked for Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. So keep that run alive, but look to get the open receiver a football quickly. So something that Ben has done here. Very excellent in doing that, getting that going. That's easy for me to say.
Easy for you to say, too.
Well, I'm a wordsmith. I told you I was a valedictorian in summer school.
Each team down to one timeout. Stretching it out. He's not going to get there. A little short is Benny Snell. So now 4th down. That does make it an easier field goal. But again, that field goal would still keep it a one-score game.
Well, now look at, because he rolls over the top of guys. You see him put that foot down. He's rolling over the top. He's not down. He's right there. And that is so close. Great effort by Snell.
But he had to get to the 25. He did not. So the field goal unit can come on and try to make this 27-19 as Denver has taken their final timeout. Now, there was a point when it looked like the Broncos were kind of lulled to sleep. Pittsburgh was totally in control. The crowd was raucous, and all of a sudden, Vic Fangio's crew, they got a real shot at this.
They certainly do, but what a response. Matt Canada has been under a lot of heat here as the coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This drive, imperative to run some clock down, give yourself a scoring opportunity, and they execute to perfection under Matt Canada as the offensive coordinator.
Boswell hit from 48 earlier. This from 43. And it's good. 8-point game. But the Broncos and Teddy Bridgewater will have an opportunity. They came up just a little bit short from converting that. Obviously would have been just gigantic, and Ben saying, oh man, we're short, as he saw it on the big screen. But Boswell does what Boswell does, career 88% on field goals, and he knocks it through. Well, now Denver, they don't have any timeouts, but again, they will get that one stop at the 2-minute warning. Second half scoring again, it looked like it was going to be all Pittsburgh. Chase Claypool getting into the act on the other end from Roethlisberger. Into the end zone for a second passing touchdown for Big Ben. But then this big 4th down conversion, this kept Denver's hopes alive to Kendall Hinton. And then Bridgewater the long one to the birthday boy, Cortland Sutton. And now after holding Pittsburgh to a field goal, they will get the ball here on the touchback. And Tim Patrick and the gang heading back out there. The headliners coming in, the two quarterbacks, both 2 touchdowns, and neither has an interception. We've only had the 1 turnover, the Roethlisberger fumble in the first half.
Been some great defense play too, so those numbers are low. They're not, they don't eye-popping by any stretch of the imagination. Been tough sledding here with both these defenses, so really nice job and performance by both QBs. Now Teddy Bridgewater has a chance to drive his football team down.
That crowd coming to life. Bridgewater, he's just going to throw it into the ground in the direction of Noah Fant as that pocket started to collapse. Now 2nd and 10 here for Denver.
Still have that 2-minute warning, but this is where, do you condense a formation? Do you run some type of mesh concepts where you're getting a pick route, you get somebody open early? What do you want to do right now as an offense?
Pittsburgh bringing 4, Bridgewater right over the middle. And there is Tim Patrick, his favorite target again. 7th catch of the day for number 81, 22 yards. They're trying to get another play off before the 2-minute warning. And they're going to do it. Bridgewater, another pitch and catch. This time Noah Fant. 2 minutes even. Clock stops. Don't go anywhere. 1-score game, and Denver driving.
Today's game is sponsored by Burger King. Mix and match your faves for just $6.
pumped up.
How could you not be? Styx Renegades playing. I mean, it's like going to a concert.
But Denver scored on their last 2 drives, and now they're in plus territory. Still 2 minutes to go. Bridgewater's hit on 6 of his last 7 passes. 7 of 8, first down. Javonte Williams, the tailback, down to the 37-yard line for a gain of 9. I'll tell you what, if Arthur Millette, they didn't get that tackle, could have gone a little further. Bridgewater, another completion. He just continues to rack them up, this time to Noah Fant. Remember, they have no timeouts.
Plenty of time as the clock ticks down under 120.
Second and 5.
At the 32 now, 2nd and 5. And Bridgewater going to take a shot. Almost intercepted. James Pierre had both hands on it. Oh, I can't believe he didn't come up with it.
Well, you see him off coverage right here, Pierre, and he's in trail. I mean, really nice job at the point, but just slightly underthrown. He's got help over the top. You see Mika Fitzpatrick coming over to help out, but Teddy just missed it.
He knows it. Denver 1 of 10 on 3rd down today. Bridgewater, another one down that same sideline. Did he get 2 in? Kendall Hinton, yes, they say he caught it. He dotted the I with the other foot for a huge gain of 23.
Well, it's the second time they've thrown that corner route where the Steelers have not been there, and you see him dot the I with that, bam, back foot right there. But that's the second time they've given up the corner route and jumped the underneath coverage, or the underneath route.
What a catch by Hinton. Still 56 seconds, and they're at the 9-yard line. Bridgewater surveys, lofts it, jump ball, batted free. No flag. Good coverage by Joe Hayden. And he's given up 5 inches to the receiver, Patrick.
I like the idea by Teddy Bridgewater right here. Just throw it up to my guy's taller. He's bigger. See if we can make a play right here. Hayden, look at his look. I mean, stays in contact, stays in phase, has his head turned back, and puts his hand up there and defends it. Great job.
Pittsburgh has led the entire way. Denver trying to change that. Bridgewater complete down inside the 5 as he gets it to Melvin Gordon. 3rd down. You still have plenty of time here. 2 plays to get in the end zone. Teddy Bridgewater getting everybody in order. Little fade, back corner. Is there a flag? There is not. They say the coverage is clean by Terrell Edmonds. And it's all going to come down to this.
Boy, you're just man-to-man right here. Both guys doing a little hand fighting. I love the no call right there. Let them play football.
And this is the ball game, and the Broncos are perfect 3 of 3 on 4th down, 8 of 8 on 4th down this season. All coming down to this. Bridgewater intercepted. James Pierre picked it, and Pittsburgh is going to win it. And for Bridgewater, his first interception of the season.
And Pierre up top here, 42. He reads this route. He knows they're going back to the corner. Look at him speed turn out, get his head around. That's one that if you can get him to bite on the inside release, you think you're going to have a wide open opportunity to your receiver, Cortland Sutton, but he reads that route. He runs it for the Denver Broncos on the pick. Really nice play by Pierre.
And Pierre, who had been beaten a couple times, and he's getting a bigger role here with the injury. Cameron Sutton out, but he gets the pick there when it matters.
Remember, he got beat over the top for the big touchdown by Cortland Sutton. Then he got beat again, and he just over the outstretched fingertips down the sideline, makes a play on it, and then obviously the play of the game right there by Pierre in the end zone with the interception.
This turned out to be a heck of a game as Big Ben goes down to a knee. Pierre gets the clincher, and the Steelers get a much-needed second win. And the Broncos, after a 3-0 start, they now drop down to 3-2. And that'll do it from here in Pittsburgh. Now we send you out to Los Angeles for the State Farm Game Break.